You have two kids/family films coming out this weekend, Mufasa and Sonic 3. I just saw Sonic 3. Let's talk about it. Again, this is the third film in the Sonic film franchise, directed by Jeff Fowler, who did direct the previous two, which I have not seen, but I appreciate continuity. So, stars James Marsden, Tika Sumpter, Idris Elba, Keanu Reeves, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Jim Carrey. You have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, who are basically a team living with Tom and Maddie. They're a family, they're like brothers, and they've been called on assignment to deal with this new little catastrophe. This other hedgehog named Shadow, who has been on ice, so to speak, for 50 years, has burst free and now is wreaking havoc in Tokyo. I thought about watching the first two movies to prepare for this one, but I decided not to because I knew there would be people who would ask, do I need to see the first two in order to watch this one? I can say from experience, no. I was able to follow along just fine, and I've never seen the first two Sonic movies. I am familiar with the game. I used to play Sonic when I was a kid. This is minor and has nothing to do with anything, but I was a little disappointed because when the Sega logo came up, I was expecting to hear Sega. So I saw Mufasa yesterday, and I would call that more a family film. It's 4-quadrant. The whole family can enjoy. It's a little more mature. This, while anyone can enjoy this, it's definitely for kids. The runtime is 1 hour and 49 minutes, which is relatively long for a straight up kids movie, but the pacing is designed with children in mind. This movie is written for kids. It's very goofy, cheesy, doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just straight up fun for the kids. But it's a children's movie, and children's movies tend to have this balance of light and heavy, where you have things that are very light and fluffy and wonderful and funny, and then you have a heaviness and a darkness that's often somewhat at the center of it that blooms as the film goes, but it's still surrounded by this little ball of light, and that's what we're having here, because we have this ball of light that is family and teamwork, what it means to be in community, and the importance of having good people around you and not going off by yourself, the consequences of isolation, explained in a way that children can understand. But then you have that heavy, which is, the consequences of isolation. And when you step away from community, you don't have people around you to remind you of who you are and what a good person you are, you can often fall off into the dark side of things. So this movie balances that very well. Typical kids movie. Nothing that we haven't, had to deal with. I mean, far lighter than what we had to deal with as children. But I love that message in general, just this message of family and teamwork and brotherhood. And, I think in our individualistic society where, you're taught to kind of do things on your own, it's nice to have this reminder, especially for young kids, that you do need people and you can't do things on your own. And if you mess up and you make a mistake, it's okay to ask for help. There are like a couple little bad words here and there. Most of them come from Jim Carrey. I expect nothing less. But I swear on my life, that man is off his rocker. He's been off his rocker. He's an absolute nutcase. Like, who else could do this? And he's playing a dual character. I mean, I don't care what he's doing. I'm here for it. But overall, that was solid. That was actually really good. I enjoyed that. A couple of hee-hee ha-ha moments that I think only adults would laugh at. Not like inappropriate, but like, what do you know about blowing into the cartridge and then putting it back in and hoping it works? You don't know nothing about that. Parents, I will warn you though, you might fall asleep. Not because the movie's boring. It's not. It's very exciting. It's very consistent. There's just something about it that just, I'm relaxed and I'm easy and, the kids are having a good time. So beware, because there were a couple of kids, I heard them as they were walking out, who were yelling at their parents for falling asleep. I wouldn't say much about the acting. It's a child's movie, so adults in children's movies, especially when it's like, we are doing this for the kids, the acting tends to be very over-exaggerated. It's almost as if if you've ever seen people who work in childcare and the way they are with children, it kind of reminds me of that. They know who their audience is, and they're playing to that level. So it's whatever. It's fine. It's not bad. It's just, adults in children's movies, that kind of acting, if you know what I'm talking about. I think Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. I think he's definitely going to be your standout if you're looking at acting. But I expect him to take everything to not the next level, but like 10 levels after that. He's going to 100% commit to whatever it is he's doing, especially if he's given an opportunity to just step outside of himself and create something from scratch. So, I mean, I can't think of anyone else that could possibly do Dr. Eggman and like do it well and go crazy. Yeah, that was like a solid, fun little kids movie. Great pacing, child appropriate. You know, you're either, as an adult, you're either going to have fun with it too, or you're going to just be so relaxed you might even fall asleep. Neither of those is a bad thing. There is a mid-credit scene that actually has me excited, and then an end-credit scene, which is, maybe 30 seconds long, if that, but both are worth sticking around for. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was good fun.